Your Range Rover Evoque features a revolutionary 9-speed automatic transmission with an articulating gear selector. In this video, we'll show you how the gear selector reveals itself and how to put the car into gear, or how to change the gears manually using the steering wheel paddle shifters.
This instructional video demonstrates functionality of the rotary gear selector, how to manually select gears using the shift paddles, how to exit manual gear selection. To select a gear using the rotary gear selector, first start the engine. The rotary gear selector will elevate out of the lowered parked position. However, if the selector fails to elevate, check and remove any obstruction and then restart the engine. If it still fails, it can be used in the lowered position. However, make sure that you select park at engine switch off and then get the fault rectified as soon as possible. Make sure that the vehicle is stationary and apply the brake pedal before selecting drive, reverse, neutral or park. Rotate the gear selector to the required position. The related LED indicator in the gear selector will illuminate. The selected gear also displays in the message center. To select Sport from Drive, press the gear selector down and rotate to S. The Sport LED will then illuminate in the selector. Sport mode also then displays in the message center. During Sport mode, the transmission remains in the lower gears for longer. If you wish to deselect Sport, rotate the gear selector back to D. The Drive LED will then illuminate in the selector and Drive mode displays in the message center. Manual gear selection using the gear shift paddles. You can select a gear manually while the selector is in the drive or sport position. To manually change gear, use the gear shift paddles mounted on the steering wheel. Transmission command shift selected will appear briefly in the message center when first selected. Pull the left paddle to shift down a gear and pull the right paddle to shift up a gear. The gear shift indicator will illuminate in the message center to indicate a gear upshift. To configure the manual transmission settings, use the instrument panel control on the steering wheel. From the instrument panel menu, select the Driving Features menu. Scroll down and select Gear Shift Paddles. Choose either Active in Sport only or Active in Drive and Sport. To exit manual gear selection, pull and hold the upshift paddle for approximately 2 seconds to return to Sport mode. To return to Drive mode, move the rotary gear selector back to D. Before switching the engine off, select Park. If any other gear position is selected, the selector will move to Park. The gear selector will then retract into the center console. If Neutral is selected, the system waits for around 10 minutes before selecting Park and retracting the selector. This is to allow time to go through a car wash.
For more information on your Range Rover Evoque, please refer to your owner's manual, the LandRoverUSA.com website, or your local retailer.